NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
President Trump is killing any negotiating talks over stimulus checks for Americans until after the election. This while infections in his inner circle continue to grow. All of this just hours after the president returns to the White House. Thanks for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Mark Mullen. So the president made the announcement on his Twitter account saying he is cutting off talks with Democrats in Congress over a new coronavirus relief plan until after November 3rd. The president blamed Speaker Nancy Pelosi, saying she was asking for $2.4 trillion to bail out cities that he calls are poorly run by Democrats. Just hours earlier, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell had called for more stimulus to keep the economic recovery going. He warned that America could head into another recession if Congress is not allowed to help soon. Meanwhile, President Trump is back in the White House with a medical team monitoring his COVID-19 symptoms. He continued to downplay the virus today by again comparing it to the flu. Dr. Anthony Fauci had to clarify.
It has some overlapping symptomatology early on, but flu doesn't do the things to you that COVID-19 can.
Doctors say President Trump is still within a 10-day window that will determine the severity of his illness. Infections in his inner circle are growing. Today we learned that senior advisor to the president, Stephen Miller, has tested positive. Also, the nation's top military generals are now quarantining after an admiral tested positive. The World Health Organization says a COVID-19 vaccine may be ready before the end of 2020. The agency's director general says 9 experimental vaccines are in the pipeline. He said the goal is to get 2 billion vaccines out by the end of 2021. The WHO asked world leaders to make sure there is equal distribution when the vaccines are ready. So let's take a look at the latest coronavirus numbers here in San Diego County. Our adjusted case rate is showing a slight improvement today. It is 6.5. for every 100,000 people. That's down from 6.7 when it was last calculated. It means we get to stay in the red tier for at least another 2 weeks. Our positivity rate is at 3.2%. Looking for a job is proving to be extra tough during the pandemic, and it can be really stressful for a lot of folks, but remote job opportunities are actually on the rise.
Companies have realized that remote work can work really well, even in a terrible circumstance like a pandemic where people are distracted and stressed out and burned out and all of that. It still is showing to be beneficial for both the employer and the employee.
We got numbers from Flex Jobs, and the remote job market has grown a bit month over month through the pandemic. In the last month, for example, Flex Jobs listings have gone up 20%. Employers are embracing remote jobs as well, especially with so many families dealing with remote learning right now. We have a lot of resources on our website. Go to NBC7.com and search remote jobs. Hear about this rock legend and guitar aficionado Eddie Van Halen passed away today after a long battle with throat cancer. He was co-founder, of course, of the rock group that bore his name, who had numerous hits and Grammy Awards. Rolling Stone magazine named Eddie one of the 8 greatest guitarists in modern music history. He died at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. The cooling trend continues with even a chance of rain this week. Here's Dagmar with your forecast.
Looking at your Wednesday, you will end up feeling temperatures that are continuing to cool off. So you felt it a little bit today. We had a lot of high cloud streaming through. Tomorrow, you'll see mostly sunny skies, but temperatures will continue to drop. So the coast will be in the upper 70s and the low 80s. Inland valleys, mid to upper 80s, mostly sunny skies. Beautiful in the mountains. You're looking at about the low 80 mark, nicely cooling off. And look at the deserts, ever so slowly eking towards that triple-digit mark and just under it. And that is the direction that you are headed. I'll be letting you know what's in store for you as we head through this work week. For now, just enjoy this beautiful Wednesday.
NBC7's What's Up is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Time for a new water heater? Call Bill Howe, San Diego's most trusted plumber since 1980. So whether you are looking at a traditional tank or a tankless water heater, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. Because
We know how.
Well, if you haven't noticed, Padres fever is in full swing. Sorry for the pun tonight. Look at that. Game 1 of 3 of the National League Division Series against the Dodgers is underway in Arlington, Texas. The Padres are welcoming back starting pitcher Mike Clevenger tonight, who missed last week's series against the Cardinals because of injury. Right now, hundreds of fans are watching from an official drive-in viewing party in Tailgate Park in the East Village. Things are looking up for some business owners next door to Petco Park Stadium. El Puerto Seafood by the park is one of those. It is located on 10th and K Streets. Alex Rodriguez and his wife opened the restaurant 2 years ago. When the pandemic hit, they made the hard decision to shut down and lay off some employees and figure out a new plan. Alex says a Padres win is a win for his family-owned business.
We are riding a very good wave with our Padres making the postseason. So it's brought back a little bit of what the city needed. The city needed a little bit of pick-me-up. So it's not taking care of any cure, it's not taking care of any vaccine, but it's at least getting excitement back into San Diego.
It's our own A-Rod. Alex says he sees a lot more people downtown, so he's adding 10 tables outside for al fresco dining. Also good news, Alex has hired back the employees that he was forced to lay off. By the way, if you are not subscribed, make sure to check out our On Friar podcast. Our Nate Tripp and Derek Togerson will have a new episode out tonight, breaking down Game 1, which, fingers crossed, we hope goes well. If you're a Dodgers fan, you may not think so, but we'll see how it turns out. Should be a good game. It's going to do it for our nightly check-in. I'm Mark Mullen. Be safe. Have a good night.